Does drinking water lead to weight loss? Does drinking cold water burn more calories than drinking room temperature water? Does drinking water before meals help you burn more calories? How much water should you drink? We're going to talk about all that, and at the end of the video, I'll give you some tips on how to increase your water intake. Just one second. That's better. What's up guys, Ryan here, TreadawayTraining.com, where we help busy professionals get more results in less time through online training. Now before we begin, if you want more information on body transforming training and nutrition topics, consider subscribing. The first thing I'd like to point out is the most efficient way to lose weight is to reduce and track your calorie intake and to lift weights. That said, there are some things that we can do that require very little effort and can get the needle moving on your weight loss, such as drinking more water. Drinking more water slightly increases resting calorie expenditure. Studies suggest that drinking 2 liters of water per day increases calories burned in a day by 60 to 100 calories. This could potentially lead to losing 6 to 10 pounds in 1 year without making any other changes. It's been said that drinking cold water rather than room temperature water boosts this effect. And it's technically true, but it's a small difference. Drinking cold water over room temperature water only boosts calories burned by about 8 calories per glass of cold water. And with such a small difference between cold water and room temperature water, my suggestion would be to drink whatever temperature water you're more likely to drink more of. So we're off to a good start. But water's direct impact on metabolism is not the biggest benefit of drinking more water when dieting. In fact, the indirect effects of drinking more water are far more interesting. Drinking water before a meal helps you to eat less calories in that meal, which helps to increase weight loss. This is because when we drink water, it helps to stretch the stomach, which slows the production of a hormone named ghrelin, which then tells the brain that we're full. In fact, a 2008 study found that drinking water before a meal decreased the participants' calorie consumption in that meal by 13%. Further supporting this, a 2010 study found that participants who drank 500 milliliters of water prior to each of their meals experienced 44% greater weight loss than the participants who did not. Another benefit of drinking more water is that if you're drinking more water, you're typically going to be drinking less of whatever it was that you were drinking before. According to a Gallup poll, the average soda drinking American drinks 2.6 sodas per day. If you replace this amount of soda with water, that's 350 fewer calories that you'll be consuming each and every day. That could potentially lead to losing 36 pounds in a year without making any other changes. Now those are some pretty big benefits just from adding water to your day. So now the question is, how much water should you drink in a day? There's a standard recommendation that you've definitely heard in the past. Say it with me, 8 8-ounce glasses of water per day. But is there any scientific information to support this? Not really. A 2002 review found no studies supporting the 8x8 rule. In reality, it depends on the individual. Half your body weight in ounces is a pretty good starting point. 2/3 your body weight in ounces if you're an athlete. For example, I weigh 190 pounds, so at half my body weight in ounces, that would be 95 ounces. At 2/3 my body weight in ounces, that would be 127 ounces of water per day. And keep in mind that's just a starting point. You'll likely need to adjust from here. You'll know you're hydrated if you have 5 mostly clear urinations per day. If you look at this chart, you're looking for a 1, a 2, or a 3. But keep in mind, some vitamins will affect the color of urine. So if your pee is fluorescent yellow after taking your vitamins, that doesn't necessarily mean that you're dehydrated. Personally, my daily water intake looks something like this. I have a 32-ounce wide mouth bottle. I'll drink 2 of these between the time I wake up in the morning and the time that I go to the gym in the afternoon. I'll take my shaker bottle with me when I go to the gym, and that's another 24 ounces of water. And then between the time that I get home from the gym and the time that I go to bed, I'll have around about 12 more ounces of water, and that puts me at 100 ounces of water per day. Now, if you'll remember my recommendations from a moment ago, that is a tad on the low side, but that also does not count coffee, tea, or protein shakes, which we'll talk about in a moment. If you have a hard time getting in enough water each day, here are a few tips that may help. First, I recommend getting a 32 ounce wide mouth bottle, and here's why. If you're like me, you're always busy, and if you're drinking out of a standard 16 to 20 ounce water bottle, you'll end up going long stretches of time with an empty water bottle sitting next to you until you get time to get up and go fill it up again. And this could lead to hours where you're just sitting there with an empty bottle, not drinking anything. You may hear me say this and ask, why don't you just get a gallon jug? Well, I'm glad you asked. The reason why I prefer a 32 ounce bottle over a gallon jug is with the 32 ounce bottle, I still have to fill up often enough that if I'm about to get up and walk away from my desk and do something else, and I look down at my water bottle, oftentimes I can see the bottom of the bottle, so I'll just go ahead and chug what's left of the water so that I can refill the water while I'm up. With a gallon jug, I don't get this benefit. And then obviously this is just my personal preference, so you can kind of play with this and see where the happy middle ground is for you. The wide mouth portion of the recommendation is pretty straightforward. With a wide mouth bottle, you get more water at a time, so you end up drinking more water. I'll include a link to a water bottle that's similar to the one that I use down in the description below. If your problem is that you forget to drink water, try setting a periodic reminder on your phone for at least a couple of weeks until you can get that habit of drinking more water cemented. If you have a tendency of forgetting how much water you've already drank, try putting rubber bands around the top of your water bottle, and then each time you finish your bottle, just take one of those rubber bands and slide it down to the bottom to show how many bottles of water that you've had. And if you don't like water, try squeezing some fresh lemon juice, lime juice, or adding some mint leaves to your water. Drinking more water has some pretty major benefits with really no drawbacks, unless you count having to pee a little bit more often. Now, I personally believe in making the easiest changes first, and drinking more water definitely fits this description. And if this isn't already enough to convince you to drink more water, consider this. At only a 3% decrease in body weight due to dehydration, your weightlifting performance will take a hit. Reduced weightlifting performance will lead to less muscle growth, which will lead to burning fewer calories, which will lead to losing less weight. I talked about weightlifting's role in a video a couple of weeks ago, which I will link up in the cards and down in the description. And as a final note, coffee, tea, diet sodas, and protein shakes all contribute to hydration. The only type of drink that does not contribute to hydration is alcohol. If you do drink alcohol, which is a bad idea anyway if your goal is weight loss, simply add in 8 ounces of water for every 1 alcoholic drink that you have. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. If you hated it, give it a thumbs down. If you want more content just like this, consider subscribing, or you can check out one of the videos that will be on the screen. You can also check us out on the Treadaway Training Blogcast. We're there every Sunday at 3 p.m. That's treadawaytraining.com/blog. As always, God bless you and your family, and we'll see you tomorrow. Drinking water before a meal leads to drinking water before a meal leads to Drinking water before a meal leads to eating fewer calories in that meal, which leads to